Good morning. Sabah al khair. It's not morning now, it's afternoon here. And I want to continue with the خزين الامرئيات. As of recording this, it's يوم الجمعة. That means the day of gathering in Arabic, literally. So it's prayer. This is the third Friday of Ramadan. It opens with a Friday and it ends on a Friday. 23rd it ends. So that's the last Yom al-Jum'ah. This is the third, الثالث Yom al-Jum'ah. Yesterday we were talking about how the children came to the life of his parents and how it made it brightened their day, but it also made the responsibility on them tougher or heavier, the load, the burden. And where we came into this thing about having haddin, like two edges, a sword. Sword is safe, I think, safe. عنده haddin. A sword has two edges. بضبط كيف في الحياة في العالم كل شيء عنده حدين. So everything has two edges. Burden, like responsibility, has two edges, good and a bad side. Fire, of course, that's a classic example. You can look at everything and it's always a bright side to it. Anyway, that's the moral or the kind of the what I drew from this paragraph yesterday. Let's go further into the introduction. It's the introduction stage of this story, short story. So it was the heavy load of responsibility on the shoulders of my father. إلا أننا وشقيقاتي الثلاث لم نشعر بوطاء العوز علينا مطلقا إلا حين توفي والدي فجأة بعد مرض لم يستطع مقاومته طويلا. That's the first sentence. I'm trying to refine this concept because while editing I notice it's hard, but I'm trying to improve this concept as I go along. إلا أننا وشقيقاتي الثلاث except that that I إننا that we إننا وشقيقاتي. It would be natural in English, and anyway, I'm just a learner of Arabic, and he knows how to write Arabic. I don't, but in English it's more common to say that indeed I and my sisters. But here it says indeed we, except that indeed we and my sisters. So it's kind of double there. The third, the three of them. إننا شقيقاتي الثلاث لم نشعر بوطاء العوز علينا مطلقا. So that's وطو, maybe it's the stem. I don't know. العوز was poverty. العوز علينا مطلقا. Not at all or totally. وطاء I have to look up. Or let the translator. إلا حين توفي والدي فجأة بعد مرض لم يستطع مقاومته طويلا. Except when توفي died my father والدي فجأة suddenly after a sickness بعد مرض لم يستطع didn't manage. لم يستطع, he didn't manage to stand it. مقاومته, that's to مقاوم, that is to fight against something. Stand up against. So for قوم is to stand up, and then مقاومته, to stand up against something. طويلا, for a long time. So he didn't manage to, the marad, the sickness. My 3 sisters and I never felt the pressures of hardship, except when my father passed away after succumbing to an illness he could not ward off for long. Never felt the pressures of hardship. So, نشعر بوطاءة العوز. Poverty, hardship as well. العوز. So now, العوز has been mentioned 2 times now in this first page. One time it was poverty, translated to poverty. Now it's translated to hardship. وطاء العوز علينا مطلقا. At all, we had never felt. We never felt. لم نشعر بي. Okay, pressures, وطاء. New word for me. And then إلا حين توفي ولدي فجأة بعد مرض لم استطع مقاومته طويلا. Except when my father passed away after succumbing to an illness. He could not ward off as well. To stand up against, warding off. حين ذاك وكنت في 16 من عمري هبطت بنا الدنيا وجار علينا الزمن لغير سبب مفهوم. حين ذاك. So حين is a moment in time. So ذاك, I think, is that time. So at that time. حين ذاك وكنت في 16 من عمري. I was كنت. So okay. And I was in my 16th. 16 is a numeral. سادس عمرة من عمري, of my age, of my life actually. عمر is something you have gained in your life, is everything in your life, experience, relationships, everything has one word, is this عمر. هبطت بنا الدنيا. هبط, a synonym with نزل, which is a more Egyptian used. هبط is more a North African one, but it has to do with falling or come upon you, fall down on you, kind of. هبطت الدنيا. So the world is active here. So the world fell بنا, with us. The world fell on us or with us or something. وجار علينا الزمن. وجار علينا. Jar is a neighbor, I think. Jar. But here is another meaning. Jar علينا. So neighboring upon us. الزمن. Time. لغير سبب مفهوم. For an unknown reason. غير سبب مفهوم. Like غير is like negating. Sabab is reason, and mafhum is understood. Sabab mafhum, that's a understandable reason or a logical reason that you understand. But when you get this غير before the sabab, it's an So I'm guessing they could have said غير, sabab غير mafhum. That would be more normal, but الزمن اللي غير سبب مفهوم. So So he puts the غير in the beginning. With an L. I was only 16 at the time, yes. حين ذاك. And for reasons unknown to us, our world was shattered and destiny treated us harshly. Our world was shattered, okay. Yeah. الدنيا, the world, fell with us, is the literal translation. هبطت, fell with us, the world, الدنيا. Direct grammar there and translation. وجار علينا الزمن, and our world was shattered and destiny threatened. So destiny is here. Zaman is destiny here. So zaman is time and destiny. وجار علينا, shattered. جير. It could be جور, and that has something to do with the drag. Anyway, the translation is correct. Yeah, so this was quite easy. So maybe I could spin off a little bit on this, what I've read. The whole thing here is how you, as a child, you have no concerns, no responsibility, nothing. Everything is just, as he says, there's no, they didn't feel the pressures of hardship. When you're a kid, you shouldn't have, really. So, but then something happens, like a death in the family, and then and you're young, and then everything goes, and you don't have this social safety net as we have in Norway. This safety for any child that comes, like if the dunya تحبط بيك, if the world just crashes with you down, it comes down with you. You have these social nets in Norway. Rough, it's rough. It was rough, and it's still rough. This is, of course, remember, this is the Ramadan, and this is also the strength of Ramadan. You should read about the hardships, because the festival is about hardship. It's about living poorly. Al-Uz. It's about to live in poverty with hardship. Be al-Uz. Try and understand. Al-Uz is a hard word. This is glottal. Ain. Al-Uz. So let's keep that in mind while we, even though we should enjoy this weekend. So TGIF, and then I'm back next week for week 3 of Ramadan. So, ma salama.